Round 11 of the championship headed to Hungary with dry conditions throughout the sessions, which was fantastic for some of the teams after last week's calamities at Silverstone. One of the big shocks from qualifying was that the current championship leader, Hayden Gullis in the Force India, only qualified in a very surprising 20th place on the grid after having an issue with McLaren's Jenson Button, who spun out Gullis in Q1. At the top of the field though, it was business as usual as Carlos Sainz in Toro Rosso took pole position from Gullis' teammate Nico Hülkenberg and Daniel Kvyat in third place. The big shock though was Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen getting an impressive 4th place, indicating signs of potential upgrades for that Scuderia, which will put them hopefully back at the top of the field in the near future. Renault driver Kevin Magnussen lines up in 5th place on the 3rd row alongside the McLaren of Fernando Alonso. Magnussen's teammate Palmer lines up in 7th with Button, even though having contact with Gullis, pulled off a great 8th place for the Brits alongside Sebastian Vettel and Hamilton completing the top 10 as both Ferrari and Mercedes look to improve coming near the end of the season. Now it's time for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and can Hayden Gullis attempt a brilliant comeback and prevent his teammate from taking points away from his championship lead? We're about to find out, as it's now time for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
What is up people, and welcome back to part 74 of my F1 2016 career mode here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's round 11 of season 4, and yesterday was not a good qualifying session for us. Getting knocked out in Q1, we just didn't really have the pace over the AI drivers. We weren't very quick over one lap. We might have just been able to scrape into Q2, but unfortunately a collision with Jenson Button very late on stopped us from doing that. So we are starting right down at the back of the field in 20th position, only beating the 2 Sauber drivers, which isn't a good place to start the race at all. We are currently still leading the championship by 3 points over our championship rival of Nico Hülkenberg and our teammate as well. Lewis Hamilton managed to get into the top 10 for the first time in quite a while, so well done to the Mercedes driver. But that man, Carlos Sainz, lines up in pole position, and he'll be looking to make up some ground in the championship today. So let's run you through the starting grid ahead of today's Hungarian Grand Prix. Like I said, Carlos Sainz is starting today's race in pole position. He's struggled recently in the last couple of races and lost out quite a bit of ground in the championship, but a good race here today can certainly get him back in the championship fight. Nico Hülkenberg lines up alongside him in second, 2 of my championship rivals getting a 1-2. Not good news for me yesterday in the qualifying session. The other Toro Rosso, Danny Kvyat, lines up in 3rd with Kimi Raikkonen alongside him on the second row of the grid in 4th place. Good qualifying session for the Ferrari driver. A bit of a surprise there for Kimi Raikkonen getting up into P4, so well done to him. Kevin Magnussen, he lines up in 5th place with Fernando Alonso alongside him in 6th. Julian Palmer and Jenson Button line up on the 4th row of the grid with Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton getting into the top 10. So good qualifying session for both the Ferrari drivers and of course Lewis Hamilton as well. Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen just miss out on the top 10. They qualify 11th and 12th respectively, but they do both have free choice of strategy, so expect those two to be battling very late in the race. Nico Rosberg lines up in 13th with Rio Haryanto alongside him in 14th. Esteban Gutierrez 15th with Romain Grosjean alongside him on the 8th row of the grid. Pascal Wehrlein down in 17th place. Not a good track for either of the Manor drivers, and he has Valtteri Bottas for company on the 9th row of the grid. Felipe Massa is alongside me in 19th. I am down in 20th position. Not a good qualifying session for me yesterday. Marcus Ericsson in 21st and Felipe Nasr rounding out the grid. So that's your starting grid ahead of today's race. Let's head down to the track for the race strategy. So looking at the race strategy for today's race, the team want me to start on the super softs, then go on to the softs, and then go on to the mediums. Now I know a lot of you guys are saying don't use the tyre wear glitch, but that means I'm pretty much restricted to only using the super softs or the softest compound of tyres in the race, and that could really affect my strategy, especially starting right down the back of the field. This is really going to affect my strategy if I don't go for a set of medium tyres, because if a safety car or something like that happens early on, then we could get a good jump on the rest of the field. So hopefully that does happen. Safety car or just the other guys coming into pits very early on, we will get the jump and we will get position. So hopefully we can try and make this medium tyres set of tyres last and go on to the set of soft tyres and try and do a one-stopper in this race. But here we are getting ahead for the formation lap, and pretty much the goal for turn 1 is just try and keep our nose clean all the way down to turn 1. We've got quite a lot of cars ahead of us, and it's very easy to make a mistake because it's very tight turn 1. So hopefully that is not the case here today, but let's head back to the starting grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Here we go then on the starting grid for round 11 of season 4. The lights coming on now. It's 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Held there for a little bit longer than we would have liked, as it looks like both Haas drivers getting off to an awful start down in towards turn 1. Both Williams drivers making a little bit of a gap for myself. Going to go up the inside, down in towards turn 1, overtaking both the Williams and the Manor drivers in towards turn 1 and moving ourselves up into P14 off the start. Still going side by side with Hungarian though, but a better exit and a better purchase out of turn 1 gives us that position. Max Verstappen and Nico Rosberg are up next on our radars. They were going side by side through turn 2. That's compromised Max Verstappen's line. We try to have a little look around the outside there, but unfortunately getting squeezed by Max Verstappen. Rio Haryanto trying to have a go down in towards his far left hand, and there's contact between the three of us. Contact again and again, putting us into the barrier, facing the wrong way. What a terrible start here to the Hungarian Grand Prix. We were hoping for a bit of luck in today's race. Luckily though, that has happened now with the safety car being deployed. That it does mean that making a pit stop, we will be able to catch up to the back of the pack, but down in 22nd position is not what we wanted at all. There's where he squeezed out Max Verstappen. He goes side by side with myself. Then I think Rio Haryanto tries to have a little look around the outside. Yes, he does. There's contact. He just got squeezed in the middle. Contact once again, and nothing really that Max Verstappen could have done through that left hand. It's not really his fault going 3 wide into that corner. It's not really recommended. It probably was a bad idea that we all decided to go 3 wide. But we are going to be coming into the pits now. That's really going to compromise our strategy going on to a set of soft tyres, which means that we're going to have to think about super soft tyres by the end of the race, most likely. Although we could go for two sets of soft tyres till the end of the race. Probably, I'm not too sure about that one at the moment. But it is going to hurt us in terms of track position as well. We're going to be right down at the back of the field in 22nd position after this safety car period. We've just got to hope that some of the AI drivers come in after lap 4 when the safety car comes to an end. But an 8.4 second stop there from the Force India team for a front wing change. It's not too bad. We have seen quicker, but at the end of the day, it is not too bad at all as we go down in towards turn 1 now and try and restart our race. We're going to catch up to the back of the field, and as we catch up to the back of the field, we're making another pit stop on lap 2. And you may be thinking, why on earth are you making another pit stop? Well, we're going to go onto a set of medium tyres, and we are also going to try and take this set of medium tyres all the way to the end of the race. We've got nothing to lose at this stage. We have got absolutely nothing to lose in this race. We've already done a lap on the soft tyres. We've used both sets of mandatory compounds of tyres. We don't have to worry about that. It's a 2.9 second stop there from the Force India team, which is pretty nice, but it doesn't really matter because we are under safety car, so it's pretty much a free pit stop as we will catch back up to the pack. But we're going to go on the set of medium tyres all the way to the end if they manage to last. So that is what we've got to try and hope. Hope these medium tyres last until the end of the race. Otherwise, we may have to go onto a set of super softs or a set of softs at the midway stage of this race. But as the safety car gets restarted, unfortunately, we're just a little bit too far away from Jenson Button. The rest of the AI actually did a normal safety car restart, whereas normally they wait until the safety car actually comes into the pits and then they actually launch. Unfortunately now, maybe they've fixed up with the game and it takes a little bit longer for the it takes a little bit quicker, sorry, for the AI to actually launch for the safety car restart. But we're up into 21st position. We got past Fernando Alonso, who's coming to a pits. There's a couple more drivers into the pits at the moment, including my teammate of Nico Hulkenberg, and we are going to come out in front of him. We've moved up into P16 at this stage of the race, so not doing too bad on this strategy. We just need to get track position. We just need to make sure that we stay in front of the AI drivers all the way to the end of the race. It sounds easy. It's not going to be an easy race at all, especially with the tyre wear that we could be facing by the end of the race. A couple more drivers coming into the pits at the moment here on lap 7, starting lap 8, down in towards turn 1. We're going to get past, that's Carlos Sainz here in P15, but unfortunately I think somebody may have got in front of us. I'm not too sure at the moment, but we have moved up into P14 at the moment, which is pretty good. We're on board with Carlos Sainz at the moment on the end of lap 9. He's going for the attack on us down the start-finish straight, right on our tail, as it looks like there's another driver coming into pits. That's Kimi Räikkönen as he exits the pit lane. Will we come out in front of him? No, we don't. We run it wide in towards turn 1. That allows Carlos Sainz to have a little look up the inside. We're going side by side down in towards turn 2. Looks like we've got a better exit out of that corner, side by side with Carlos Sainz. He squeezes us on the inside. That forced us to brake very, very late because of that contact. Now he's got the inside line in towards turn 2. We've got the outside into turn 3. We're giving him the room. He's running a little bit wide off the curb and off the track, and unfortunately for him, he has to concede that position. But he's also been overtaken by my teammate of Nico Hulkenberg. So not only has he lost out on the net lead of the race to Kimi Räikkönen now, but he's also lost out to my teammate of Nico Hulkenberg as well. As we cut ahead to the end of lap 10, looks like Nico Hulkenberg looking to maybe go for the overtake. We've given him a lot of room on the inside of the exit of turn of the final corner. There's a yellow flag behind us, no overtaking, but it goes green. Danny Kvyat is out of the race. Yellow flag keeps flickering. We're just waiting to possibly go for an overtake up the inside. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Green flags, but the safety car has been deployed. And that's not actually an illegal overtake for some reason. However, we are going to be a good sportsman and give that position back to Nico Hulkenberg, because we did overtake him just before the safety car, just after the safety car was deployed. So we do have to really give that position back to Nico Hulkenberg. So we're going to filter back into P13 at the moment, just behind our teammate. Hopefully, a couple of the AI drivers do decide to come into the pits during the safety car period. But let's have a look at a replay of what's happened to Danny Kvyat on the start-finish straight. So going down in towards the start-finish straight, and unfortunately he just gets an engine failure. He has to pull over to the left-hand side of the track, and it is out of today's race. It's very unfortunate there for the Toro Rosso driver. He's just had some torrid luck this season. You know, the only real chance for Toro Rosso to win a championship, Season 3 and Season 4, and he's just been absolutely nowhere because of reliability, getting bullied and everything like that. As we cut ahead now to the end of lap 10. Jeff wanted us to switch to an alternate strategy, but there's a couple of drivers coming into the pit lane as well, including a Red Bull, I believe, that is going down in towards turn 1. Yes, it is. He filters just behind Kimi Räikkönen at the moment. That's Daniel Ricciardo, who's come out in 8th place right now. So Daniel Ricciardo and Kimi Räikkönen and Nico Hulkenberg are the drivers that we are battling with at the moment. As the safety car is in, the race is restarted. We go round the outside of the final corner, not able to overtake Nico Hulkenberg through there. Yellow flags once again though, so something else has happened in today's race. Going down in towards turn 1 right now, right behind Nico Hulkenberg. Up the inside though, go for a little bit of a lunge on our teammates, side by side on the exit of turn 1. Still side by side down in towards turn 2. The yellow flag's still out down the start finish straight, but we don't really have to worry about that at all. Still side by side with our teammate of Nico Hulkenberg, trying to hold it around the outside of turn 2, get the inside line of turn 3, but we do decide to back out of that because there is no point going too wide. We do not want to cause a collision. We want to be aggressive, but we don't want to cause a collision with our teammate of Nico Hulkenberg. Right then, let's have a look at a replay of what's happened to Carlos Sainz, bringing out that yellow flag. So the safety car comes in, the race is restarted, and unfortunately for Carlos Sainz, he just has a rear left puncher just after the pit lane exit. One of the worst possible times to get a puncher. One, straight after the safety car, and two, just after the pit lane entry, because he's now going to have to do a whole lap. He's going to be right down at the back of the field and has got to hope for a miracle if he wants to try and get any points in today's race. We're cutting ahead to lap 17. The three leaders at the moment of Kimi Räikkönen, Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hulkenberg have shot off a little bit into the distance. We're going side by side with Fernando Alonso here on lap 17, side by side with the McLaren driver. We're going to squeeze him out on the exit of turn 1. And it looks like he concedes that position. But Jolyon Palmer now going for the overtake on the McLaren driver. Have a little look up the inside of us in towards turn 2, but not able to get a position through there. Side by side with Fernando Alonso through turn 3 now. They're still going side by side. Lewis Hamilton may want to get involved. He tries it around the outside of the fast left-hander. There's contact between the three of them. Lewis Hamilton carries on like nothing's happened, but Jolyon Palmer, Fernando Alonso, they're facing the wrong way. There's a big pile-up on the exit of turn 4 here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Here's a replay of what happened on board with Jolyon Palmer. Down in towards the left-hander now. He's going side by side with Fernando Alonso. Doesn't expect Lewis Hamilton to be there as well. And you just can't fit 3 cars through that corner. You can hardly even fit 2 cars through that corner, let alone 3. Here's a replay on board with Kevin Magnussen, who just doesn't really realise what's gone on. Goes straight into the back of Sebastian Vettel. And there's just a huge pile-up down in towards that left-hander. Lots of cars getting in each other's way. Good news for us though, because it's going to mean that they're all going to have to get new front wings, and that's going to allow us to catch up to gain a bit of time on those guys who are running quite close behind us. But we're watching on board on the end of lap 17, start of lap 18, watching with Nico Hulkenberg. He's trying to get past Kimi Räikkönen now in the battle for second place in this Hungarian Grand Prix. He goes up the inside in towards turn 1, and it looks like he is going to get the position on Kimi Räikkönen. Who's going to come out on top as they exit the corner? Yes, it is. It's Nico Hulkenberg who moves up into P2 for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And now we cut ahead back onto our race here on lap 22. Going down the start-finish straight, Nico Hulkenberg is now in the pits. Looks like Daniel Ricciardo has also come into pit lane a few laps ago as well. And going through turn 1 at the moment, we come out in second place and cutting ahead to the end of lap 23, start of lap 24 now. Kimi Räikkönen is in the pits. Our tyres aren't looking too bad at this stage of the race. We are still able to take them a couple of laps further, but we have moved up into the lead of the race, and that's exactly what we said we needed to do. We need to move up into the lead of the race, get position on the AI drivers, and just try and defend like hell to keep those guys behind us as we're watching on board with Valtteri Bottas now going through the tight and twisty section of the Hungarian Grand Prix, and he has unfortunately had an engine failure as well. Just like Danny Kvyat, he's going to pull over to the left-hand side out of today's race. Unfortunately, that is the end of the Williams drivers race, but we are back on board with R1 here on lap 25 as Daniel Ricciardo looks to try and get past us here in the Hungarian Grand Prix, try and retake the lead of the race. He was running in first position earlier on, and now he'll be looking to get past us as soon as he possibly can. We've got a string of cars right behind us. Daniel Ricciardo, Nico Hülkenberg, and Kimi Räikkönen as well. Nico Hülkenberg getting caught up behind us on the entry in towards turn 1. Actually goes into the back of us, which forced us wide. Then we go 3 wide in towards turn 1. Daniel Ricciardo gets position, but we don't really mind that happening too much. He still has to make one more pit stop in this race. He's just switched over to the Supersoft tyres about 3 laps ago, maybe even more. So he definitely has another pit stop left to make, because those Supersoft tyres will only really last him about 6-7 laps in this race, maybe a few more. But we're going side by side right now with Nico Hülkenberg here on lap 27, down in towards the fast left-hander of turn 4. He's right on our slipstream. He's going to try it around the outside. There's contact between the two of them. Nico Hülkenberg goes into the side of us. I'm not too sure what's happened there. We're going to have to wait for a replay before we actually judge too much on Nico Hülkenberg, but there's just been too many collisions between the two of us this season, going down in towards turn 4, watching on board this time with Nico Hülkenberg. Right, side by side. Oh, it looks like we actually turned into our teammate. Hopefully we get a better replay of what actually happened there, but at the moment I'm actually putting the blame on myself for the contact between the two of us through that corner. Watching on board now with Nico Hülkenberg. He moves over to the left-hand side. Doesn't really have enough of his front nose up the inside. The rim just sort of goes away from the two of us. And I'm not too sure actually on that one. I'm not too sure who really is to blame. So let me know down in the comments who is to blame for that collision between myself and Nico Hülkenberg. But it's not really affect us too much, as Nico Hülkenberg once again is right at our tail. He's right behind Kimi Räikkönen, but goes up the inside here on lap 28, on the end of lap 28. And takes the position away from Kimi Räikkönen. Moves up into P3 for the time being. Daniel Ricciardo still leading this race at the moment. We're in P2 and Nico Hülkenberg behind us in P3. But looks like the rest of the field are now starting to catch up to us. The tyre wear on our car is quite serious at this stage of the race. We are struggling quite a bit at the moment at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Nico Hülkenberg goes around the outside in towards turn 1. There you can see 65% on the front right, 66% on the rear right. So we are struggling quite a bit with tyre wear. We get the position back on Nico Hülkenberg. There he goes side by side with Kimi Räikkönen. Now goes up the inside of us through turn 3 there, down in towards turn 3, no, through turn 2, sorry, down towards turn 3. He gets around the outside of turn 3, side by side in towards turn 4. This time we have the outside line into turn 4, round the outside of Nico Hülkenberg, and we've actually made it stick. Round the outside of turn 4 in towards turn 5. It's still side by side between the two of us. He's going to get a better purchase out of that corner. Up the inside now, down in towards the right and then the left of the chicane. And there we go, taking back position from Nico Hülkenberg, moving up into P2 once again. And what will be the net lead when Daniel Ricciardo comes into the pits. But Daniel Ricciardo does have quite a sizable lead over us at the moment, down in towards turn 1. He's coming out the pits right now. So who's going to be in the lead of this race? Ricciardo on the right, Hülkenberg on the left, down in towards turn 1. And it looks like we've got position on both of those drivers, moving back up into the lead of the race with 5 laps left to go. Tyre wear, 69%. We still have enough on these tyres to take them till the end of the race. We just need to pray. We just need to pray that these tyres can last until the end of the race. It's getting quite serious at the moment, but here we are on lap 31. Under pressure once again from Nico Hülkenberg, who goes around the outside of this right-hander. Can he make the move stick? Not quite. Side by side, though, between the two of us at the moment. There we go. We get the position back on our teammate, but he is very much on our tail right now. He's putting so much pressure on us late on in this race. It's not just him, though. It is the rest of the field as well, who are right on our tails. We come around the final corner now, down in towards turn 1. They're all going to have slipstream, and they're all going to have DRS on us and the better exit. They're on the right-hand side as well. We've not got the defensive line through this corner. Round the right-hand side, or around the outside, sorry, of the turn 1. Looks like we're going to make it stick round the outside. We've actually got better traction than Nico Hülkenberg, but now, there we go, on the soft tyres. He's got a better grip through there, but going up the inside of turn 2, can we make it stick? No, yes we can. Round the inside, then round the outside of turn 3. Oh, Nico Hülkenberg squeezing us out on the exit of turn 3. We have to take the escape road, and because he forces us out wide, we are not going to give the position back for that. I do not care that we have ran it wide. There is some serious rivalry between the two of us, and he actually forced us out wide here. I blame Nico Hulkenberg for this one. Just look at that. Forcing us out wide, taking the normal racing line, even though we are on his outside, pushes us off the track, and I am not going to give that position back to Nico Hulkenberg because of exactly what has just happened. But here we are on lap 32. On the end of lap 32, Nico Hulkenberg once again trying to get the overtake on us, this time around the outside of the corner. Still side by side between him. He's got a better exit this time than he did on the previous lap. The inside line in towards this left-hander. We really struggle on the final sector of the lap. We go up the inside in towards the final corner. Bit of a dive bomb there on Nico Hulkenberg to try and give him a bad exit and try and give us the best possible line round the inside, the best possible chance to get back past him using DRS, using slipstream up the inside of Nico Hulkenberg. Going to make it 3 wide with Daniel Ricciardo as well. The inside line in towards turn 1. And who is going to come out on top between the three of us? It's myself. Yes, there we go. Up into the lead of the race once again. Daniel Ricciardo in second. Fernando Alonso now up into third. And Nico Hulkenberg down into fourth. That is exactly what we want in this race. We want Nico Hulkenberg to be down as far as he possibly can. And Carlos Sainz as well to give us a huge lead. In the championship, there's contact between myself and Daniel Ricciardo. Not too sure what on earth has happened there. Just noticed there was a huge amount of contact between myself and Daniel Ricciardo, putting himself into a huge spin. And we're going to get a replay now on board Daniel Ricciardo. He moves over to the right-hand side. Did exactly what Nico Hulkenberg did earlier on in the race. He just braked a little bit late, going into the side of us. Not really expecting how early we actually have to brake into that corner. And unfortunately has lost out a lot of time as here we are starting lap 34 now in this Hungarian Grand Prix. 2 laps left to go in this race. Come on, tyres, last. Come on, you can last until the end of the race. Please, 2 more laps. Side by side with Nico Hulkenberg. Just look how fast my teammate is, though. Going up the inside of both of them, down in towards turn 1 and getting the position back on Nico Hulkenberg. 79% on the rear right. We have got to tiptoe around the final 2 laps of this Hungarian Grand Prix. Please, please just last till the end of the race, tyres. I know you can do it. I know you can last until the end of the race. Please, just last as we go side by side with Nico Hulkenberg. He goes around the outside. We're going to hold the inside line once again, showing that you can do it. You can go side by side through that left-hander. Nice moves there between myself and Nico Hulkenberg. Good aggression, but at the same time giving each other just enough room here at the Hungarian Grand Prix as we go through that chicane there on the midway section of the lap. But here we are, starting the final lap of the race. We still have 4 tyres on the car. There's no punctured tyres at this stage of the race, but our tyres must be so heavily worn right now. We are tiptoeing. We are absolutely tiptoeing around this Hungarian Grand Prix circuit. Up the inside of Nico Hulkenberg, once again taking quite a lot of curb there and quite a lot of grass. He makes contact with Fernando Alonso. Alonso has gone into the barriers very late on here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Nico Hulkenberg forcing himself into the side of Fernando Alonso. Let's watch a replay on board with the McLaren driver. Going down in towards turn 1 now. He goes around the outside of myself. He tries to do a bit of a switchback move on me as well. We get the inside line and Nico Hulkenberg, I force him out wide just a little bit too much off track, and as he tries to come back onto the circuit, moves into the path of Fernando Alonso, putting him into the wall. But here we are going through the chicane. Not long left to go in the race through the tight and twisty section of this Hungarian Grand Prix. Tyres, come on, you can last. You can last this last couple of laps. This last lap, come on. No, it's gone. The front right tyre has gone. 82% on the rear right, 79 on the rear left, and 100% on the front right. Front left, sorry, is gone. Our tyres have gone, but we can hold on. Come on, just defend position through these last couple of corners. No, we're just getting absolutely bullied all the way down to the final couple of corners, but we brake late in the middle of both the Ferrari and the Mercedes driver. Come on, we can hold as much as possible. Nico Rosberg gets a little tap, he gets another tap. As he comes back onto the track, he gets another tap as well. Nico Rosberg pretty much out of this race now, as well as we are coming through the final corner now. But it doesn't matter too much to our teammate Nico Hulkenberg, who wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Despite all of that, he has won the race. We're not going to get a single point here at today's Hungarian Grand Prix, and that is some seriously heartbreaking stuff. I cannot believe that's happened here today at the Hungarian Grand Prix. What a race there at the Hungarian Grand Prix. I did not expect that at the end of the race. I mean, our tyres were failing, but to do it on the final couple of corners, come on. You could have picked a better time. It could have just been a couple of corners later, and we may have still got some points today in today's race. We may have even still got the race win, but unfortunately that was not the case. Nico Hülkenberg is today's race winner, and that's going to put him a huge margin ahead of us. 22 points, I think, is going to be the gap at the end after today's race. Lewis Hamilton getting on the podium in second place, with Jolyon Palmer finishing the race in third. Max Verstappen, sorry, in fourth. Kimi Räikkönen fifth. Rio Haryanto sixth. Sebastian Vettel seventh. Carlos Sainz in eighth. He actually got back into the points despite having that puncture, mainly because I had made such a train behind myself. Then it was Kevin Magnussen in ninth. Esteban Gutierrez in 10th. Roman Grosjean in 11th. And myself down in 12th place. Really heartbreaking race today. I cannot believe that happened when I was racing it. It was just so frustrating to be doing all of that and taking those tyres from lap 3 all the way to halfway through lap 35, and then for them to go. It's so heartbreaking. It's so frustrating that had to happen then. But at the end of the day, we did run a huge risk for doing that, and you just got to expect that these things just don't go your way sometimes. Looking further down the field, though, Jenson Button finishes behind us in 13th, with Fernando Alonso unfortunately finishing in 15th place. Pascal Wehrlein 15th, Daniel Ricciardo 16th, then Nico Rosberg after having that collision down in 17th place, Marcus Ericsson 18th, Felipe Massa in 19th, and Felipe Nasr in 20th. Then we have Valtteri Bottas and Danny Kvyat as our only two drivers who did not finish today's race. Drivers' Championship then, and there is the devastating confirmation that Nico Hülkenberg now has a 22-point lead over us in the championship, going into another one of our races where we do struggle at. But luckily we're coming up to the Belgian Grand Prix and the Italian Grand Prix, where I do reckon I can be dominating those two races and get some really good points over the course of those 2 weekends. Carlos Sainz catch up to us just a little bit, but has still got quite a huge gap behind us at the moment to catch up. So Nico Hülkenberg in a good position to win this championship, but there is still a long way left to go. Finally then, the Constructors' Championship. No change really, apart from Renault moving above McLaren Honda after a good race here today. And our gap to Toro Rosso has increased in today's race as Nico Hülkenberg finished above Carlos Sainz. There's a huge gap at the moment in the Constructors' Championship. 125 points at this stage of the season. 294 points for Sahara Force India, nearly hitting the 300-point margin. So it looks like this Constructors' Championship is definitely ours to lose at the halfway stage of the season. But that is it for today's Hungarian Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, share the video with your friends, and I will see you next time at the German Grand Prix, which once again is another one of those circuits where I don't tend to do well at. I've just got to try and be lucky that I can get track position over the AI and just really see what I can do. But I will see you there. Until then, it's goodbye from me.